Hello, YouTube friends. Alicia here. Take two. I'm just going to give you a brief kind of introduction or history to what made me want to make this journal. Penny of That's Just Penny put out a post on her Facebook group asking if anybody had any suggestions for types of journals to make, and I had suggested a sloth themed journal. And the reason I suggested that was because, sorry, I'm moving my hand and you can see it in the camera. But anyways, the reason I suggested that is because I had gone to an event that was bringing awareness to smuggling of animals into the country. Canada, and I'm guessing like the US too, but obviously I'm in Canada, so it was Canada specific. And one of the things that people bring in are things like sloths, or some of the things, sloths, armadillos, trying to think what else they had. Sloths and armadillos. Those were the two main ones they talked about, but then they also had different birds, different snakes, things that just really don't do well outside of their natural habitat or in a very monitored habitat. And so the thing with sloths is people bring them in thinking they're cute and cuddly, and you know what, they are cute. And maybe they're cuddly, I don't know, but they have very specific needs and therefore have a very short life expectancy in captivity. And not captivity like zoo captivity, but like in a home, because people don't realize things like their digestive system are very fussy. Things like their fur, their skin, all of that need special care. And so it kind of gets overlooked, and not that people want to be neglectful, but because people just don't know. And so their life expectancy is very short once they've been brought into homes. And like I said, this event was to bring awareness to that. So that's what made me want to make this journal. This journal will be for sale. If you're interested, leave a comment below, and I will get back to you with prices and shipping and all that kind of thing. And yeah, so let's get started. The journal is 2 signatures made from a manila envelope. The cover is part of the kit, and then on the spine I have some vintage ribbon and then embroidery thread for the signatures, which I hate using embroidery thread, but I'm out of my other stuff. It works, I just don't like it. Some vintage lace. And then the inside is just plain with some paper. It is backed on cardstock, so it is thick. The envelope doesn't open anymore, but I wanted the cover to be a little bit thicker. Sewed some lace on one of her pages. And this kit is more colorful and playful than I would have preferred for what I wanted to use, what I had in mind for the journal, but you know what, it's still fun. This is one of her kits that I made into an envelope. And then inside is just a extra page for journaling. I really was trying to use up most of what I had printed for the kit. I had some issues printing the kit, and not issues as in they were Penny's, like the way Penny had things. Issues I had my printer on the wrong setting. So that's a vintage image from a magazine. I did not cover the back. You can do whatever you want. A vintage, encyclopedia. Vintage doily. Some stenciling. Old color block paper. A vintage placemat. Just, this is the picture that came with the kit. I just did some inking on it, paper clipped it on. This is banana paper. I really don't know why they call it banana paper. It's just what the notepad that I have calls it is banana paper. So yeah, I have no idea. This is a die cut that I just put together and added on there because I thought it was cute. And obviously you can move it, and you can move this one as well. This one I added to the vintage doily. The doily comes off. And just a piece of ephemera that comes with the kit. I have 3 paper clips in a row, so I'm gonna possibly move one. This is just something that matched. was a card front, and I just took it apart and did some stenciling, some more of that lace. So I was successful in using like all of this lace up, and I was, pretty happy about that. Well, that excitement was kind of short-lived when I went to the thrift store and brought home more lace. So, yeah, not doing so well. This green paper is vintage. It's coffee dyed. Handmade paper with one of her images and collage. These blue envelopes are also vintage. It was the tablecloth I had cut up, and well, I coffee dyed, and then forever ago, and then I cut it up and did a ruffle with some vintage seam binding. This piece here is one of my own digitals. Not a digital, but it's a vintage handkerchief that I scanned. Sorry, my words aren't coming to me. I am tired. And I backed all the paper that was printed. This is a pocket here. Just did some sewing on the bottom of that fabric. Another envelope, more stenciling. This is a stencil I made out of a notebook cover. It had a plastic cover with holes in it, so I just cut off the cover and use it as a stencil. This is another envelope, and I don't think there's anything in it. I did ink it. I've been watching Gail. Can you tell? I've been inking everything. Or not everything, but this is just some information about Sloth. And then on the back, it's just pretty, so I left that. Figured you can use it for a bookmark or add backing paper and use it as a journaling spot. So this is the second signature. More scrapbooking paper. Just an envelope that I made. And that envelope is actually a little bit wonky, but this is backed. Because I goofed on the measurements, but it was fun, so I put it in. It's so pretty. I had cut these papers down, the color block papers, a number of years ago to make into an 8x8 mini album, and I never did it, so I'm just going ahead and using it. I did some paper like trim. I don't know what it's called, like paper borders. This is just a little collage. More of that lace. This is that like paper, these die cuts that I weaved together, and then just added it. It does open, obviously, the envelope. I did leave the strings hanging so you can add charms or whatever you want. This is another one of my sloths. I think they're so adorable. More of that paper trim. Another sloth that I cut out. I thought this was fun too. I made a belly band with some ribbon that I've had in my stash for a long time. And then, oops, he's so cute. This comes with the kit, and then this is one I made. Have fun with my die cuts. There's the flip in this one, fabric flip with vintage seam binding, more sloth information. This just clips. This is glued on, but it clips so that you can move that doily. It's vintage as well. Fun paper clip. Somebody sent that to me with an envelope. Love it. This cute little sloth is backed on a manila card. And then a vintage library pocket and card. I don't know if the card is vintage, but I got a stack of the library pockets from my thrift store. So there is the journal. I hope you like it. Any questions or comments, leave them below. If you're interested for purchase, leave that below too, and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. I have more videos to do, more crafting to get done. So I will see you back probably probably tomorrow. Talk to you all later.